Girl disappeared on school trip 5 years later. Her friend sent a postcard. The last time anyone saw Maya Reyes, she was standing at the edge of the cliff trail near Black Pine Gorge, smiling into the wind. It was supposed to be the final stop of a senior class hiking trip, the kind of memory high school kids post about, forget, and leave behind in photo albums and inside jokes. But Maya never made it back to the bus. No scream. No struggle. No trail of footprints leading elsewhere. One moment she was there. The next she was gone. The search began within the hour. Helicopters, dogs, volunteers. For 3 days, the forest echoed with Maya's name, shouted by people who barely knew her and cried by the friend who knew her best, Leah Carter. 17, quiet, and always standing in Maya's shadow, Leah was the last person to speak to her that day. She told the authorities Maya had wandered off to get a better view. That she'd only been gone 5 minutes. That she swore she heard twigs snap behind her. But they found nothing. No phone. No backpack. No body. The case became legend. A cautionary tale. The trip was never repeated. And Leah never spoke of it again. Until 5 years later, when a postcard arrived. From Maya. It came without a return address. Just a plain postcard. Faded. Torn at the edges. On the front, a watercolor painting of a cabin deep in the woods. On the back, 3 words, scrawled in black ink. I remember everything. No name. No sender. No explanation. But Leah recognized the handwriting instantly. It was Maya's. Messy, urgent. Just like the notes they used to pass in class. At first, Leah thought it had to be a mistake. A cruel prank. But something in her chest, something that had never really gone quiet, started to scream again. She flipped the postcard over again. Stared at the cabin. It felt familiar. Not like a place she'd been, but like one she'd tried to forget. She tucked the postcard into her jacket and didn't sleep that night. Leah hadn't gone back to Black Pine Gorge since the trip. No one had. It had been fenced off after Maya's disappearance. Rumors grew around it about strange noises, about hikers who saw figures moving between trees, about shadows that didn't belong. But Leah had other reasons to stay away. Because she hadn't told the truth. Not about that day. Not about what Maya had whispered to her just before walking away. If anything happens, don't tell them about the cabin. Leah never knew what she meant. She thought it was just a joke. Or maybe a dare. Maya always had a taste for the strange old ghost stories, cursed places, local legends. But when the search team started asking questions, Leah stayed silent. Now the cabin was on a postcard. And Maya or someone pretending to be her was calling Leah back. It was a 2-hour drive from Leah's small apartment to Black Pine Gorge. The last 15 minutes were on roads overgrown with moss and silence. The gates to the old trail were still there. Rusted. Padlocked. But the forest didn't care about gates. Leah climbed over. The trail had changed. Trees had fallen. The path was nearly invisible under years of leaves. But Leah followed something deeper than memory. She found it at sunset. Nestled behind a ridge where the cliffs bent inward, a cabin, small and sagging, with its doors slightly open and its windows dusted with ash. Just like the painting on the postcard. Her heart hammered. Her hands shook. But she stepped inside. The air was thick with mold and time. The walls were lined with newspaper clippings, yellowed and curling. All of them about missing girls. And in the center of the room, on the floor, was Maya's backpack. Untouched. As if it had just been dropped. The door slammed shut. Leah spun around, heart in her throat, but no one was there. Then the sound came. Soft at first. A whisper. Leah. She backed toward the wall, breath catching. Why didn't you come sooner? The voice was Maya's. But it didn't come from one direction. It came from everywhere. The cabin walls pulsed with it, as if they were breathing. Leah reached for the backpack. Inside, an old Polaroid photo of her and Maya, and a journal. She flipped through it. Each page more frantic than the last. They watch from the trees. I was supposed to be next. He promised I'd forget. But I remember now. And then the last line. He told me you'd come alone. A creak behind her. Leah turned. There, in the doorway, stood Maya. But her eyes weren't the same. Maya's face was thinner, her skin pale, translucent. But it was her. Leah froze. Maya? Maya stepped closer. You should have told them about the cabin. Leah's eyes filled with tears. I was scared. I didn't know. Maya's voice cracked. He lives beneath it. And then, as if something was pulling her back, Maya's body jerked. She gasped. He'll come for you now. The ground trembled. A trapdoor in the floor snapped open. From the darkness below, a hand too long, too thin reached up. Maya pushed Leah away. Run. Leah ran. She didn't stop until daylight. Leah never saw Maya again. But the next morning, news broke. The cabin had burned to the ground. Forest rangers found nothing but ash, and one item buried beneath the foundation. A Polaroid. 2 girls smiling. One of them holding a sign that read, I remember everything. No trace of who lit the fire. No explanation of what was beneath the cabin. No records of who owned the land. Just a trail of smoke. A stack of lies. And a friendship that tried to speak even after it was silenced.